This is the convening of the Cottonwood Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood for presentation of proclamations, awards, and introduction of new city employees to be held September 4th. So we have two proclamations to read tonight. But before we do, I want to introduce the council. We have Councilmember Piper, Vice Mayor Allen, congratulations on your election, Councilmember Henry, and Councilmember Ruben Hodeggy. So I'll start off with Prostate Awareness Month. Is there anyone here tonight to receive this proclamation? No? Okay. Whereas prostate cancer constitutes 19% of all cancer diagnoses and 8% of all cancer deaths, and whereas in Arizona an estimated 3,150 new cases of prostate cancer and an estimated 590 deaths will occur, and whereas men with relatives, father, brother, son, with a history of prostate cancer are twice as likely to develop the disease, and whereas veterans are 1.5 times more likely to get prostate cancer, and whereas prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in American men and the third leading cause of cancer death behind lung and colon cancer, and whereas this year approximately 164,690 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in the United States alone. That's one man every 3.3 minutes, and roughly 29,000 will die this year from the disease, which is one man every 20 minutes. And whereas education regarding prostate cancer and early detection strategies are critical to saving lives, preserving and protecting our families, and whereas all men are at risk for prostate cancer, and we encourage the citizens of Cottonwood to join in activities that will increase awareness and prevention of prostate cancer. Now therefore, I, Tim Alinsky, the Mayor of the City of Cottonwood, do hereby proclaim the month of September as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month and encourage men to learn about the risk and speak to their healthcare provider about screening for prostate cancer. All right, that's one. And next is proclaiming September as Suicide Prevention Month. Whereas in the United States, one person dies by suicide every 8.6 minutes, with 44,965 deaths by suicide in our country during 2016, and whereas in the United States, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death for people of all ages, and whereas each person's death by suicide intimately affects at least 6 other people, with over 200,000 newly bereaved each year, and whereas in Arizona, 1,271 Arizonans died by suicide in 2016, and approximately 7,600 friends and family members were changed forever by losing those people. And whereas in 2017, at least 101 Yavapai County citizens and 5 Cottonwood citizens ended their life by suicide, and Yavapai County's per capita suicide rate is the highest in Arizona. And whereas many of those people who died may never have received effective behavioral health services for many reasons, including the difficulty of accessing services by healthcare providers trained in best practices to reduce suicide risk, the stigma of using behavioral health treatment, and the stigma associated with losing a loved one to suicide. And whereas the Suicide Prevention Coalition of Yavapai County is comprised of representatives of behavioral health organizations, law enforcement agencies, faith communities, and citizen advocates who are all dedicated to reducing the frequency of suicide attempts and deaths and the pain for those affected by suicide deaths through providing resources, education, and support. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Tim Alinsky, the Mayor of the City of Cottonwood, on behalf of the Cottonwood City Council, do hereby proclaim September as Suicide Prevention Month in Cottonwood and urge everyone to learn how they can help, because suicide prevention is everyone's business. Is there anyone here tonight to receive this proclamation? Sir, would you please come up? I'm Tim. Would you like to introduce yourself and speak into the mic? Thanks for being here.
Thank you. My name is John Schuber. I'm a retired mental health and substance abuse counselor. I'm the chairperson of the Yavapai County Suicide Prevention Coalition, and I'm also what's called a survivor. My youngest son died by suicide in 2001. The numbers that you read in the proclamation often just get read that way as numbers. What we always have to remember is that they have names attached to them. They have family members, neighbors, friends, coworkers, and so on and so forth. And as the proclamation said, you lost 5 of your residents here in Cottonwood last year. So with that, thank you very much for this proclamation. September is nationally known as Suicide Prevention Month. But I also want to say that every month should be Suicide Prevention Month. That's what our coalition is about. We're doing everything we can to get people educated. I brought some flyers for everybody tonight. I hope you'll read them. And I'll close with this. Normally when I do presentations, I ask 3 questions of the group. And I ask them to hold their hands, not raise their hands until I'm done with 3 questions. First question is, have you ever lost a loved one to suicide? About 10% of our population has. Have you lost someone you know intimately, like a neighbor or a coworker or someone like that? About 20% of our population loses folks like that to suicide. And a third question is, have you ever personally had that thought, even if just fleetingly? Why am I here? Maybe the world would be better off without me. So then I ask them to raise their hands after I've asked those 3 questions. And typically, about 90 to 95% of the group raises their hands. And then I say, well, why aren't we talking about this? We talk about so many other situations and concerns, but we don't talk about suicide. So the coalition is about reducing stigma, largely in educating people on who's at risk, what we can do, what the warning signs are, and what we can do to help people and get them connected with the proper amount of help. So with that, I will close, and again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members for issuing this proclamation, and I'll give these to you. I hope there's lots of information in there. Okay. We do lots of presentations on, like I said, who's at risk, what the warning signs are, and what a person can do to help. So
we'll leave this with council here, we'll leave the rest on the table in front.
Great. Very good. Folks. Thank you very much.
We'll get a photo with you too.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm taking one of these proclamations with you. You can have the other one.
Okay.
You haven't signed it. This is yours.
That's great. Back here? I've gone between 2 roses. 4 roses. Thank you.
Would you like that email to you? Would you like the email, the photo email to you?
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, we'll take care. I'll come and see you just after we close out here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so that does conclude our meeting, and we'll meet again at 6 o'clock, so don't leave. Thanks.